In the secluded college town of Moscow, Idaho, a gruesome discovery shattered the tranquility. The brutal stabbing murders of 4 University of Idaho students left a community reeling and a trail of clues growing colder by the day. Welcome back to Dark Deeds. Today we delve into the chilling case that stalked a tight-knit campus and stole 4 promising young lives. Adding to the mystery, 2 other housemates, Bethany and Dylan, were left unscathed. Their survival raised numerous questions. Were they the intended targets? Or did the murderer not know of their presence? The house, situated on a hillside cul-de-sac, was known for its small gatherings, making it a familiar spot for many. Its front door operated with a coded system, yet no signs of forced entry were evident. As the community grappled with fear and sorrow, the pressing question remained: who could commit such a crime, and why? The chilling case of the Idaho students' murders remains a haunting enigma, demanding justice and answers. On a seemingly ordinary Sunday, November 13th, just before the clock struck noon, emergency lines buzzed with a 911 call. The caller's concern was for a possible unconscious individual at a 3-story residence on King Road, Moscow, Idaho. As emergency services raced to the scene, they anticipated a routine response. However, what awaited them was far from ordinary. Upon entering the house, the grim reality unfolded. 4 young lives, Ethan Chapin, Kaylee Goncalves, Xana Kernodle, and Madison Mogen, were extinguished in a brutal act of violence. Their lifeless bodies bore the marks of a savage attack, each stabbed multiple times. The coroner's preliminary findings placed their time of death in the hauntingly silent hours between 3 and 4 a.m., extending possibly to 5 a.m. The nature of the wounds pointed to a specific weapon of choice, a fixed blade knife. The brutality and choice of weapon drew eerie parallels to the iconic knife wielded by the fictional character Rambo in the movie First Blood. As the news spread, the community was plunged into shock and grief, struggling to comprehend the darkness that had descended upon their town. The King Road residence, once a haven for its inhabitants, had transformed into a chilling tableau of violence. One of the most haunting visuals was the blood, not just confined within the house, but seeping out, staining the very foundation of the home. It painted a grim picture of the ferocity of the attack that had taken place inside. Despite the evident violence, the crime scene raised more questions than it answered. There were no indications of sexual assault on any of the victims. Furthermore, the house showed no signs of forced entry, suggesting either familiarity or an unexpected breach. Additionally, nothing appeared to be stolen, ruling out robbery as a motive. Amidst the horror, 2 students, Bethany and Dylan, emerged unscathed. Their untouched state amidst such brutality was puzzling. Were they simply overlooked, or was there a deliberate choice to spare them? Speculations ran rife. Perhaps the assailant didn't know of their presence, or maybe there was a more sinister reason for their survival. As investigators combed through the evidence, the community grappled with the chilling thought that the crime scene on King Road was not just a scene of murder, but also of mysteries yet unsolved. Perched on a hillside cul-de-sac, the 3-story house on King Road stood prominently near the University of Idaho campus. Its location made it a prime spot for students, offering both proximity to the university and a vantage point overlooking the town. But the house was more than just a strategic location. It was a hub of social activity. Known for its warm and welcoming ambiance, the residence was a popular spot for small gatherings. Almost every night, the laughter and chatter of students echoed within its walls, making it a familiar place for many in the community. With its spacious layout, it comfortably accommodated the 5 roommates, each having their own space while sharing common areas. One of the house's distinctive features was its front door, which, rather than relying on a traditional key, operated on a coded system. This modern touch, while convenient, also raised questions about security. How many had the code? Could it have been shared or guessed? Adding to the intrigue was the possibility that the sliding glass door at the back might have been left unlocked, providing an unguarded entry point. In the aftermath of the tragedy, the house's significance grew. It wasn't just a crime scene, it was a silent witness holding secrets yet to be unveiled. The investigation into the King Road murders took a pivotal turn with the release of an affidavit, shedding light on previously undisclosed details. Central to the breakthrough was the identification of a prime suspect, 28-year-old Brian Kohberger. Crucial evidence linked Kohberger to the crime scene. His DNA was discovered on a knife sheath, believed to be associated with the weapon used in the brutal stabbings. Further tightening the net, surveillance footage played a key role. Cameras captured Kohberger's car in the vicinity, providing investigators with a tangible link between him and the crime scene. As pieces of the puzzle began fitting together, the case against Kohberger solidified. He was subsequently charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder. The once baffling case was now seeing clarity, with the spotlight firmly on Kohberger as the investigation progressed. Brian Kohberger's initial appearance in an Idaho courtroom marked the beginning of a judicial process that the community had anxiously awaited. As proceedings unfolded, harrowing details emerged, painting a picture of a predator who may have meticulously stalked his victims. The evidence tabled was compelling. DNA samples tying Kohberger to a knife sheath at the crime scene, phone records placing him near the murder site on multiple occasions, and a witness testimony that added depth to the narrative. Dylan Mortensen, a surviving roommate, provided a chilling account. On that fateful night, she recalled hearing unsettling noises and, more disturbingly, spotting a masked figure lurking within the house. This testimony, combined with Kohberger's phone records indicating his proximity to the house several times before the murders, built a formidable case against him. The courtroom became the backdrop for a tale of horror, intrigue, and the pursuit of justice. Casey Jordan, a renowned criminologist, weighed in on the case, offering an analytical perspective on the evidence outlined in the affidavit. Jordan emphasized the significance of the DNA findings and phone records, noting their potential to be pivotal in the trial. However, she also speculated that the affidavit might just be the tip of the iceberg. Given the gravity of the case, it's plausible that investigators are holding back more evidence, only to be unveiled during the trial to solidify the case against Kohberger. Yet despite the mounting evidence and expert insights, the case is riddled with unanswered questions that continue to haunt the community. The most pressing of these is the motive. What drove Kohberger to allegedly commit such a heinous act? Did he personally know the victims, or were they random targets of a sinister plot? Furthermore, a crucial piece of the puzzle, the murder weapon, remains elusive. Its absence not only poses an investigative challenge, but also adds another layer of mystery to an already complex case. As the trial progresses, the community and the nation watch closely, hoping for answers to these burning questions. Brian Kohberger, the central figure in the chilling Idaho students' murders, remains confined behind bars, denied the possibility of bail. His incarceration serves as a temporary resolution for a community seeking justice and safety. However, the case is far from closed. As the legal wheels continue to turn, more court proceedings loom on the horizon. Each session promises to reveal further details, inching closer to a definitive conclusion. The community, while relieved at Kohberger's detention, awaits the final verdict with bated breath, hoping for a sense of closure and justice for the young lives tragically cut short.